Hello students. Let's start with the new chapter, which is corporation tax, income and gains. Here students, we will learn how to calculate the different types of income taxable to the companies. First one is students a trading profit. As learned in the sole trader students, trading profit must be adjusted for tax purpose and capital allowance. Same way companies trading profit also should be adjusted. But for company students, trading profit must be accounted under the accrual basis. Here students, we are not required to learn the new concepts or pro forma for tax adjusted trading profit. But instead, whatever we have seen or we have learned in the sole trader trading profit, we are assuming the same rules will apply to the companies also, but with some key differences, student. So here we have to see the key differences only, otherwise other rules will remain same. Here are some key difference, students. First one is for the companies. There are no private use adjustment required while calculating the capital allowance. Then after, any interest receivable or payable for trading reasons, students, is included in the trading profit. But if interest is receivable or payable for non-trading reasons, then it will go to the main pro forma of the computation of corporation tax under the interest income. Then after, students, dividend payment is not an allowable expenditure. Then let's see the difference in the students capital allowance rules. Once again, almost all the rules will remain same, but here are some differences. For company students, the AIA annual investment allowance limit is split between the related companies. Students, here parent company and subsidiary companies are considered to be the related companies, and so AIA will not be available to all company fully, but 1 million limit of the AIA will be shared by those group companies. If students, the period of account is more than 12 months, then the capital allowance will be calculated separately for each cap. Now students, next topic is a non-trade purpose interest income or expense. As I told you, the non-trade income, interest income or expense will go directly to the pro forma of computation of corporation tax under the income interest income head. But here students, sometimes the company receives interest from HMRC, which will be taxable, and if interest paid to HMRC will be allowable expense. But students, please remember that total opposite rule we have learned for individual taxation, where interest received is exempt and interest paid to HMRC will not be deductible for the income tax purpose. That was for the individual purpose, but here for the companies it's allowed and it will be taxable if received. Students, here are some examples of the non-trade interest income or expense, so please go through it. But the point here in non-trade interest topic is that, students, we do net off the non-trade interest income and any payment of the non-trade interest for the year, which is called the loan relationship rule. That means that we are not separately writing the non-trade interest income in the credit side or in the debit side, or we are not separating them, we are just netting off that thing. And when we net off the interest, it's very obvious that either we will get the surplus interest or we will have a deficit. Surplus means interest income is greater than the interest expense. Now if we have surplus, then we will consider as an interest income and will be written in as a positive figure. But now student, what will happen if we have a deficit there? Then we can set off that deficit through 4 manners, and we must have to remember the sequence also. So the options available are given over here, students. Then next topic is dividend income, students, which is very simple. Dividend income is exempt and dividend paid is not deductible. Then after, next topic is property income. Students, companies can have the property income, so just like trading income, most of the rules are same, but once again we have to learn the differences over here. For companies, the property income is calculated as per the accrual basis only, students. Here there will not be option of the cash basis. Here, students, we have to calculate the property income according to the accounting year and not on the basis of the tax year or financial year. One more important thing is that any interest on loan to buy the property is treated under the loan relationship rule and treated as a non-trade interest expense and will not be considered under the property income. But here we have one benefit also, students. Property loss of the company can be set off against other profits also. Property loss must be deducted from the total profit before QCDs along with the other incomes. And any unrelieved loss, or we can say remaining loss, will be deducted from the future total profit. Yes. And also, students, companies cannot have a rent room relief or cannot claim the benefit of the FHL, that means furnished holiday letting. Now the last income of the chapter, which is capital gain. Here, students, the pro forma for capital gain for the companies are given as below. Please go through it. Students, just like other income, here we also have the most of the rules same, but we have some important differences. The most important one is the indexation allowance. It's nothing but a relief given to give effects of the inflation. And indexation allowance for asset acquired prior to December 2017. Right? So if you have acquired any asset after December 2017, then there will be no indexation allowance available. It will be available to those only assets. And we can calculate the indexation allowance by multiplying the cost of asset to the factor of indexation factor. Indexation factor is nothing, students, but movement in the retail price index from the month of purchase of the asset to the month of disposal, or December 2017, whichever is earlier. Indexation allowance is calculated separately for each item of the expenditure, including capital improvements made, students. And please remember, indexation allowance cannot create or increase the loss. Here lots of students makes mistake. This is the most important thing. The next important topic is rollover relief, students, and for the companies only rollover relief is available as a relief. Otherwise any other kind of reliefs are not available to companies. The rollover relief works for the company the same way, but goodwill is not the qualifying asset for the company, and the relief will be applied after deducting the indexation allowance. Now the next topic is capital loss for the companies. The capital loss can be set off against a chargeable gain arising in the same cap. So the net gain will be taxable to the company. But student, if we have the net loss, then it will be carried forward against first available future net gains, students. That means that you cannot set off against any other kind of income, right? And now the next topic, student, is the annual exempt amount. In the case of companies, annual exempt amount is not available. And the last topic is share pool. We have learned the same topic like share pool matching rules, but it was for the individual purpose. In the company, students, it is the sequence and the matching rules are different. So please remember it, and in the sequence wise, and it's different for the companies. So yes, students, here we are done with the chapter. So we'll see the next chapter in the next session. Thank you.